Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something really fascinating, tackling that big question. Why do some people get wealthy while others, maybe just as smart or hardworking, seem to struggle financially?
Yeah, it's a common puzzle. And we're looking at the ideas from Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which offers a pretty distinct perspective.
Distinct how? What's the angle?
Well, the core idea is that financial success isn't mainly about external stuff like, business smarts or investment tactics. The source calls that the outer game.
Okay, the outer game.
Right. And while that's important, it argues it's actually secondary. The most critical factor, it's your internal programming, your financial blueprint.
Financial blueprint. Okay, what exactly is that? Like a hidden plan?
Sort of. It's more like your subconscious program for money. It dictates how you automatically think, feel, and act when it comes to finances.
So it's running in the background, controlling things.
Pretty much. The source uses a great analogy. Think of the roots of a tree. You can't see them, right?
Mm.
But they absolutely determine the fruits you get.
So my financial results are the fruits.
Exactly. And if you don't like the fruits, you can't just change the fruits.
Hmm.
You have to go deeper and change the roots, your inner blueprint. The invisible creates the visible.
Okay, that makes sense. So my bank account reflects my inner programming.
That's the core argument, yeah. And there's another analogy used. Your blueprint is like a thermostat.
A financial thermostat.
It's set to a certain level of income or wealth. Say it's set at, I don't know, $50,000 a year.
Okay.
If you suddenly get a windfall and make $100,000, your internal thermostat might kick in, subconsciously causing you to maybe spend more or make bad decisions to bring you back down near that $50 pay setting.
Wow. And if I drop below it?
Then your thermostat might drive you to work harder or find ways to get back up to that $50 K comfort zone. Your results tend to snap back to that preset level.
So it's less about the money coming in and more about what level my internal system is comfortable holding.
Precisely. It's about your inner capacity, your character, your beliefs about money, your habits. The source suggests most people just don't have a big enough internal container to hold significant wealth.
Fascinating. So we all have one. Where does this blueprint even come from? Did I, choose it?
Not consciously. It's mostly formed in childhood, largely before you're even 7 years old. It shapes those automatic reactions you have to money for the rest of your life unless you actively change it.
Before 7. Wow. So how does it get programmed?
The source breaks it down into 3 main ways.
Okay, lay them on us. What's the first one?
First is verbal programming. This is basically everything you heard about money, wealth, and rich people growing up.
Huh. Like things parents or teachers said.
Exactly. Think about common sayings. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. We can't afford that. You have to work hard for your money.
Oh, yeah, I heard some of those. Save for a rainy day.
Right. Whatever you heard repeatedly, especially from authority figures, you likely absorbed as truth. It became part of your subconscious program about money.
So if I heard negative stuff, I might subconsciously avoid money or think it's bad.
It's very possible, yeah.
Yeah.
The source suggests a way to change this, a 3-step process. First is awareness. You have to actually identify what you heard, what messages are rattling around in your head.
Okay, become aware of the old programming.
Then, understanding. See how those messages might have influenced your financial life so far. Connect the dots.
Right. See the cause and effect.
And third, dissociation. This is key. Realize those beliefs aren't inherently you. They were learned. They came from someone else. You can choose to let them go.
Awareness, understanding, dissociation, see it, get how it affects me, and realize I can choose differently.
You got it. And to really lock in the change, the source recommends using declarations, saying things out loud with intention.
Okay, like affirmations.
Similar, but the source calls them declarations, stating an intention. For this one, you put your hand on your heart and say, what I heard about money isn't necessarily true. I choose to adopt new ways of thinking that support my happiness and success.
Well, I heard about money isn't necessarily true. Just saying that feels like a weight off.
It can be really powerful. Then you touch your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. It's about consciously installing a new belief.
Okay, that's verbal programming, what we heard. What's the second way?
The second is modeling. This is all about what you saw your parents or main caregivers do with money.
Like actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. Monkey see, monkey do, right? Or the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They save diligently, spend impulsively, argue about money, hide bills. We often just unconsciously copy those behaviors.
Okay. Any examples?
Yeah, the author talks about his own dad, who was in the building business. He had this cycle. Make a lot of money, lose it all, start again, make money, lose it.
A boom and bust cycle.
Right. And the author realized he was subconsciously repeating that exact pattern in his own businesses until he became aware of the modeling.
So we can inherit financial patterns, too, not just beliefs.
Absolutely. But there's also a twist to the flip side, which is rebelling.
Rebelling, how does that work?
Well, maybe you grew up really poor, or money was a constant source of stress and fights. You might react with anger or resentment and vow, I'll never be like that, I'm going to get rich.
That sounds like strong motivation, maybe even a good thing.
It can drive you to make money, for sure. But the source warns there's a hidden danger. If the root motivation is anger or resentment towards your past or parents,
Yeah.
your subconscious mind links money with that anger. So the more money you make, the angrier you might feel deep down.
Whoa, okay. Money making you angry seems counterintuitive.
It does, but if the fuel was anger, the association is there. And if money equals an uncomfortable feeling, like anger, what might your subconscious try to do?
Get rid of the feeling.
Exactly. And how do you get rid of the feeling linked to money? You get rid of money.
Seriously, how?
Subconsciously, of course.
Yeah.
Through things like sudden reckless spending, terrible investments, messy divorces, business failures, ways to sabotage yourself financially to get back to a state where you don't feel that underlying anger associated with having the money.
Wow. So the key is to change the motivation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Disconnect the drive for a wealth from negative stuff like anger, fear, or needing to prove yourself. Instead, link it to positive things like purpose, contribution, joy, freedom.
Makes total sense. If money feels bad subconsciously, you won't keep it. Okay, so we have verbal programming, heard, modeling, saw. What's the third one?
The third is specific incidents. These are particular, usually emotionally charged experiences you had with money when you were young.
Like specific memories.
Yeah, even things that seem small can have a big impact. The source tells a detailed story about the author's wife. When she was about 8, she'd hear the ice cream truck. She'd ask her mom for money. Mom would say, sorry, honey, ask your father. He's got all the money. So she goes to dad, gets a quarter, buys ice cream, and she's happy.
Seems like a nice little memory. What's the problem there?
Well, on the surface, nothing. But the author figured out this created a deep subconscious link for her. Money. Immediate pleasure. Getting money meant instant gratification, like that ice cream.
Okay.
Meanwhile, his upbringing led him to see money primarily as a tool for creating future freedom and security.
Wow. I see where this is going.
Right, so in their marriage, they constantly argued about money. She wanted to spend it on things that brought joy, now immediate pleasure, while he saw that as spending away their future freedom. Their blueprints were totally clashing because of those different childhood incidents.
That's incredible. Different incidents leading to totally different money personalities. How do you change that?
Same process, really. Awareness. Identify the specific incident and the feeling or belief it created. Understanding. See how that incident has shaped your financial behavior? Dissociation. Realize it's just a past event, a learned response, and you can choose a new meaning for money today.
And there's a declaration for this, too.
Yep. Hand on heart. I release my non-supportive money experiences from the past and create a new and rich future. Then, touch your head. I have a millionaire mind.
Releasing the past, creating a new future. Okay, so understanding and changing that childhood programming, verbal modeling, specific incidents, that's step one.
That's the foundation, according to this source. Cleaning up the old programming, changing the roots. Only then can you really effectively install the new ways of thinking and acting, what the source calls the wealth files.
Wealth files, like upgrading the software in your brain.
Exactly. These are the mindsets and habits that tend to differentiate how rich people think and act compared to poor or middle-class people, especially around money.
All right, let's crack open some of these files. What's a really big one?
Maybe the most fundamental is how they approach the money game itself. Rich people play the money game to win,
Okay, play to win.
whereas poor and middle-class people tend to play the money game not to lose.
Win versus not lose. Sounds subtle, but I bet it's huge.
It's huge. Playing to win means your goal is big wealth, abundance, financial freedom. You're aiming high. Playing not to lose means your primary goal is survival, security, maybe just being comfortable.
Just enough to pay the bills, maybe a little extra.
Right. And if your goal is just comfort, that's likely what you'll get comfortable but not wealthy. Your intention sets the ceiling. The wealth principle here is clear. Rich people play to win. Poor people play not to lose.
So you need to aim higher from the start.
Yes. The declaration reinforces this. Hand on heart, my goal is to become a millionaire and more. Touch head. I have a millionaire mind.
Millionaire and more. That's definitely playing to win. What actions help shift this?
The source suggests literally writing down ambitious goals for your income and net worth goals that feel like winning to you. Stretch beyond just comfortable. And also, try things that normalize abundance, like going to a nice restaurant and ordering what you really want, not just the cheapest thing, like the chicken dish they mention. Practice feeling abundant.
Get comfortable with the feeling of having more. This connects to the next idea about commitment.
Absolutely. It's commitment to being rich versus just wanting. The source is pretty blunt here. Wanting to be rich is useless. Almost everyone wants it.
Yeah, wanting doesn't pay the bills.
Exactly. What makes the difference is commitment. Rich people are truly fully committed. They've made a clear decision. They're willing to do whatever it takes, legally, morally, ethically, of course.
Whereas others might have mixed feelings.
Yes. They might say they want wealth, but subconsciously they fear the responsibility or the work involved, or they believe negative things about rich people, or they aren't willing to make sacrifices. Their commitment is weak or non-existent.
Like wanting six-pack abs but not wanting to go to the gym or skip the pizza.
Perfect analogy. Real commitment means you're all in. You've decided.
Okay. From commitment, the scale of thinking comes up next.
Right. Thinking big versus thinking small. This is about the impact you aim to have. The source says your income is often related to the quantity of people you serve or affect.
Quantity, not just quality.
Both matter, but quantity provides scale. Think about entrepreneurs. The source defines them as problem solvers. Rich people tend to solve problems for or add value to a large number of people, thousands, millions even.
While thinking small means helping just one person at a time or a very small group.
Generally, yes. That inherently limits your reach and your potential income. Thinking big means finding ways to leverage what you do to impact many more people.
So how do you start thinking bigger?
An action step is to identify your natural talents, what you're good at. Then actively brainstorm. How can I use these talents to serve or affect 10 times as many people as I do now? It forces you to think about scale and leverage.
10 times. That's a big jump. It shifts focus from just doing the work to expanding its reach. What about when obstacles pop up?
That leads right into the next file. Focusing on opportunities versus obstacles. When faced with a challenge or a new situation, rich people tend to quickly scan for the potential opportunity.
Yeah, right.
Poor and middle-class people often get stuck focusing on the obstacles, the risks, what could go wrong. And that fear often paralyzes them, stops them from acting.
Analysis paralysis, focusing on the downsides.
Exactly. Rich people see problems too, but they quickly shift focus to finding solutions and moving forward. The source promotes the idea of ready, fire, aim.
Ready, fire, aim. Like shoot first, ask questions later.
Sort of. It
Yeah.
means get yourself reasonably ready, take action, fire,
Yeah.
and then adjust your course based on the results. Aim. Don't wait for perfection or certainty because it never comes. Just get in the game.
Take action, then course correct. I remember a story about that. The author wanting to learn the dessert business.
Yes, a great example. He wanted to learn about pies, but instead of just reading, he decided to get in the corridor. He took a job as a busboy in a pie shop.
Just to be in that environment, even at the bottom?
Right. By being inside, he saw opportunities he'd never have seen from the outside. That seemingly small step eventually led him completely unexpectedly to inversion boots, then fitness stores, and his first million. It was about focusing on the opportunity, learning the business, and taking immediate action. Busboy job.
Get in the game any way you can. Powerful. What about how we view successful people?
Crucial one. Admiring versus resenting other rich people. So many people who struggle financially hold negative views about wealthy people, thinking they're greedy, dishonest, lucky, whatever.
Yeah, you hear that kind of talk a lot.
But the source says that's a huge mental block. How can you become something you resent or despise? You can't. Your subconscious will push wealth away. The source even challenges the stereotype, quoting that 98 out of 100 rich men are honest.
That's a high percentage, definitely counter-narrative.
It is. And the author shares his own experience moving into a wealthy area expecting snobs, but finding people were actually really kind, generous, involved in charity.
Like those examples of big donors or the doctor doing free surgeries.
Exactly. The point is to counteract the negative programming, so the action is consciously practice admiring rich and successful people. Bless their success. Learn from them instead of criticizing them.
You attract what you admire, not what you resent. And this links to who you hang out with.
Directly. Associating with winners versus losers. Who you spend time with massively influences your mindset and results. Birds of a feather flock together, financially too.
Is it really that strong?
The source claims most people earn within 20% of the average income of their closest friends. You absorb the attitudes, the conversations, the expectations of your circle.
Wow, 20%. That's close.
Yeah. Rich people feel comfortable around other successful people. Others might feel intimidated, unworthy, or judgmental, which keeps them stuck with people who reinforce their current financial level. Remember the saying, if you want to fly with the eagles, don't swim with the ducks.
Choose your flock carefully. So what are the actions?
Model successful people, read about them, study them, actively seek out positive, successful people to associate with, join clubs, go to events, even just visit upscale places to get comfortable. And, importantly, consciously limit exposure to negative influences. Complainers, toxic situations, negative media. Clean up your environment.
Be intentional about your associations and the declarations.
3 powerful ones here, hand on heart. I model rich and successful people, then I associate with rich and successful people. And finally, if they can do it, I can do it. Touch head, I have a millionaire mind.
Building that belief in association. Okay, next up, dealing with problems. This feels important.
Hugely. Being bigger than your problems. The core idea here is that the size of the problem isn't the real issue, it's the size of you.
The size of me. What does that mean?
Think of a scale, 1 to 10 for problem size, and 1 to 10 for your personal capacity level. If you're a level 2 person facing a level 5 problem, that problem looks overwhelming, right?
Yeah, huge.
But if you grow yourself to be a level 8 person, that same level 5 problem seems small, manageable.
So if I feel like I have huge problems, it means I'm operating at a small level. Ouch.
It's blunt, but meant to empower. You can't always control the problems life throws at you, but you can always control your own growth. Become bigger than the problem. The source even suggests saying mini-me to yourself when you feel overwhelmed as a reminder to grow.
Grow myself, increase my capacity.
Exactly. It links back to that container idea. The bigger your internal capacity, the more challenges and wealth you can handle without freaking out. Rich people focus on solutions and growth, not dwelling on the problem. The wealth principle. The secret to success isn't avoiding problems, it's growing yourself so you're bigger than any problem.
So focus on personal growth as the solution. Actions.
Confront your fears. List your money worries. Then plan what you'd actually do if they happened. Usually, you realize you'd survive and rebuild. Also, constantly step outside your comfort zone. That's how you grow. The declaration. Hand on heart, I am bigger than any problem. Touch head, I have a millionaire mind.
Bigger than any problem.
Yeah.
Powerful. Okay, let's shift gears slightly to receiving.
Yes, being excellent receivers. This is often overlooked. Giving and receiving are 2 sides of the same universal coin. For every giver, there has to be a receiver.
Okay, makes sense.
But many people are terrible receivers. They feel unworthy, or they deflect compliments, or they feel guilty getting things. This blocks the flow of abundance to them.
Why are people bad receivers? Childhood stuff again.
Often, yes. Maybe being told they don't deserve things, or linking mistakes to punishment, creating a feeling of unworthiness. The source clarifies you don't need to feel worthy to get rich, but it's a much happier way to live if you cultivate that feeling. The key is practicing the act of receiving.
How do you practice receiving? Seems passive.
It's more about openness. Simple things. When someone compliments you, just say thank you. Don't downplay it or immediately compliment them back. Just absorb it.
Okay, it's just thank you.
Another one, celebrate any money you find or receive, no matter how small. Found a penny. Pick it up, feel grateful, and say, I am a money magnet. Thank you, universe. It signals openness to more.
I'm a money magnet. I like that. Any other ways?
Yes, the play account from the money management system is crucial here. Spending that 10% every month purely on pampering yourself, on things that make you feel good and abundant, is actively practicing receiving and reinforcing deservingness. The universe, the source says, hates a vacuum. Expand your receiving capacity, and it will be filled.
So actively practice enjoying and receiving the declaration.
Hand on heart, I am an excellent receiver. I am open and willing to receive massive amounts of money into my life. Touch head. I have a millionaire mind. Open and willing.
Okay.
Okay, this next one is a big mindset shift about income itself. Yeah, it's getting paid based on results versus time. The traditional advice, get a good job with a steady paycheck. The source calls that the book of fairy tales.
Ooh, controversial. Why?
Because when you're paid for your time, salary or hourly wage, there's an inherent ceiling on your income. There are only 24 hours in a day. You can only work so much.
Right, you're trading limited time for money.
Exactly. Rich people, generally, find ways to get paid based on the results they produce, not just the hours they clock in. Think commission, profit sharing, owning your own business, royalties, things where your income potential isn't capped by time.
But isn't salary safer? Results-based pay seems riskier.
It can feel riskier for sure. That fear is often rooted in conditioning. Get a safe, secure job. The source shares the author's dad's advice. You'll never get rich working on straight salary. Get paid on percentage or work for yourself. The goal is to detach your income from your direct time investment as much as possible.
Own the outcome, own the potential reward. What's the declaration?
Hand on heart. I choose to get paid based on my results. Touch head. I have a millionaire mind. Action steps could be exploring commission structures, proposing performance bonuses, or starting a side hustle where pay is tied directly to results.
Choose results over time. Okay, this next one seems basic, but the source really emphasizes it.
Absolutely critical. Managing money well. It doesn't matter if you make $50,000 or $5 million a year. If you don't manage it effectively, you likely won't keep it or grow it.
It'll just slip through your fingers.
Exactly. The source uses the analogy of giving a kid an ice cream cone. If they immediately drop it, are you going to give them another one right away? Probably not. The principle. Until you show you can handle what you've got, you won't get any more.
The universe is watching how you handle the little bits.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
The habit of managing is more important than the amount you have initially. There's a story as a student deep in debt who started managing just $1 a month using the system. And that tiny habit shift eventually changed everything for her.
Wow, from just $1. It's about building the muscle. What's the system?
It involves dividing your income into separate jars or accounts for specific purposes. Two are non-negotiable. The Financial Freedom Account, FFA, 10% of your income goes here only for investments that will generate passive income. You never spend this principal.
That's the Golden Goose Fund.
Right. And the Play Account, another 10% that you must spend every single month on things that make you feel good, pampered, abundant. This balances the saving investing with enjoyment and receiving.
Save for the future, but enjoy the present too. Prevents burnout.
Exactly. It's like training for a triathlon. You might not love every part. But managing your money, developing that habit, is essential for financial fitness. The wealth principle. Either you control money or it will control you.
Manage it or be managed by it. The declaration.
Hand on heart. I am an excellent money manager. Touch head. I have a millionaire mind. Actions. Set up an FFA account. Get a jar for daily change for your FFA. Start dividing your income based on the source's percentages.
Okay, manage what comes in, but that money needs to do more than just sit there, right?
Definitely. That leads to having your money work hard for you, instead of just you working hard for money. Working hard is necessary, but it rarely makes people wealthy on its own.
So what's the goal then?
Financial freedom. Reaching the point where your passive income money you earn without actively working covers your lifestyle expenses.
Passive income? How does that happen?
Two main ways according to the source. First, money working for you investments like stocks, bonds, real estate that pays rent or appreciates. Second, business working for you, things like rental properties, royalties, or a business you've built with systems so it runs without you needing to be there daily.
So assets generating income, not just your labor.
Precisely. This mindset, focusing on building income-generating assets, is often missing from typical upbringing. We're taught to be employees, not necessarily investors or owners. Rich people tend to think long-term, investing for future freedom. Poor people often focus short-term on immediate spending.
Building assets versus just earning and spending.
Yes. The source talks about the net worth formula: income plus savings, plus investments, simplification, managing expenses. You need all four elements working together. Just increasing income often isn't enough because of Parkinson's law.
Parkinson's law, expenses rising to meet income.
Yep. You make more, you tend to spend more, unless you consciously channel that increase into savings and investments and keep lifestyle inflation in check. Examples are given of relatives who built wealth not through high income, but consistent saving and investing, particularly in real estate over the long haul.
So building assets is key. Declaration.
Hand on heart. My money works hard for me and makes me more and more money. Touch head. I have a millionaire mind. Actions. Educate yourself on investing. Focus on passive income strategies and remember the line. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait.
Buy and hold, let the asset work. Okay, we're nearing the end. What's the final file? It feels like it ties everything together.
It really does. It's constantly learning and growing. The source says maybe the most dangerous words you can think are, I know that.
I know that. Why is that dangerous?
Because If you're not already achieving the wealth and happiness you desire, then there's probably something important you don't know or aren't putting into practice. Success, the source insists, is a learnable skill. Nobody's born a master. Every master was once a disaster.
So stay humble and keep learning.
Exactly. The absolute fastest way to get rich and stay rich is to commit to working on yourself, your mindset, your character, your skills. It's the be-do-have principle.
Do-have.
Be the kind of person who is successful, knowledgeable, resilient, positive. Do the things that successful people do. Manage money, invest, learn, take action. And then you will have what successful people have: wealth, freedom. Your outer world reflects your inner growth.
So work on becoming the person first.
Yes, and become excellent at what you do. To get paid the best, be the best. Learn from people who have real results, not just theories.
Walk the talk mentors.
Right. And crucial to all this is action. Action is the bridge between your inner world and outer results. And you don't wait until fear or doubt disappear. You have to act in spite of them.
Act even when scared or uncomfortable. That's tough.
It is. That's why comfort is overrated for growth. The source is clear. The only time you are actually growing is when you are uncomfortable. Your comfort zone equals your wealth zone, CZWZ. To expand your wealth, you must expand your comfort zone.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Precisely. Practice it. Take small steps outside your comfort zone regularly. The source mentions things like breaking an arrow with your throat extreme, maybe, but it illustrates acting despite fear, realizing the fear in your head, the soap opera scriptwriter, is often worse than reality. Train yourself to act even when you don't feel like it.
That's the core message. Train yourself to act despite feelings.
Yes, and the declarations capture this. Hand on heart, say, I act in spite of fear. I act in spite of doubt. I act in spite of worry. I act in spite of inconvenience. I act in spite of discomfort. I act when I'm not in the mood. Touch head. I have a millionaire mind. Actions. Challenge fears. Practice discomfort. Use power thinking to choose supportive thoughts.
Wow, that's a comprehensive set of files. We've gone from the deep roots of our money blueprint right through to the daily thoughts and actions that, according to the source, build wealth.
And it always comes back to that central theme. It starts inside. Transforming your financial life means transforming your inner world, your blueprint, your mindset, your habits, and then taking consistent, sometimes uncomfortable action.
Becoming the person who can create, handle, and grow wealth.
Exactly. Growing yourself bigger than your problems, expanding that internal container.
Well, as we close out this deep dive, here's something to really mull over, inspired by everything we've discussed from the source material today. If your current financial reality is just a printout of your past internal conditioning, your old blueprint, imagine you could wipe the slate clean right now and consciously design your new financial blueprint. What level would you deliberately set your financial thermostat to? What kind of financial fruits would you choose to grow on your tree from this moment forward?
Yeah, what do you truly want? And more importantly, what inner shifts, what declarations, and what consistent actions are you willing to commit to starting today to make that new blueprint your reality?